The following content is sponsored and does not necessarily reflect the views of WATD Radio. Now, Paul Ponders on 95.9 WATD. Be a part of the show. Call or text 781-837-4900. Now, here's your host, Paul Solano.
Greetings and welcome. Thanks for listening to Paul Ponders on WATD, presented by Northeastern Fence and Supply Corporation of Saugus, where they have fences for your kids, dogs, and ugly neighbors. My name is Paul Solano of the PSNL Marketing Group, and as you probably already know, I also wear another hat as General Manager of Pearl Street Station Restaurant in Malden. And a huge shout out to Chef Felipe Fitzpatrick and his culinary team. And Chef Felipe is a loyal listener through the Odyssey app. So hello to Chef Felipe, who is actually on a truly well-deserved vacation this week. And as always, we have lots of activity at Pearl Street Station Restaurant this weekend. In Chef Felipe's absence, we have Chef Eve, Chef Joaquin, and Pitiola Muhammad holding down the fort with my great staff of today, the 1209 staff of John, Cheyenne, Nicole, Dennis, Don, and Jayla. I know that you're in the middle of an 80-plus person celebration of life right now, but you can always catch this show afterwards tonight after it gets posted on YouTube, and it will be available in the WATD section of my paulponders.com website. So this is show number 48, and it is truly an absolute honor and pleasure to be on WATD in the slot of the Boiling Point with Arthur Boyle. Arthur, shout out to Arthur. He's out there plugging away with advertisers. We have some first one-year anniversary specials coming up in the near future, and also I just wanted to, in fact, just let everyone know, and one segment that we have coming up is going to be with Kathleen Keegan, who's a local realtor, KKeeganRealty.com, and she's starting a newsletter in the Pembroke area, and her expertise and enthusiasm mantra is going to shine through, and her husband, Major Sean Keegan, is on the select board. So I just wanted to just go over, before we go on to our segment, I just wanted to just have a slight retraction that I noticed when listening to the show last week. Last week I misidentified my broker-dealer at the time when I was working with Mike McNamara of McNamara on Money. And Mike and I were with the same broker-dealer, and that broker-dealer was, in fact, Commonwealth Equity Services and not Commonwealth Financial Network. I'm not sure if Mike caught it or whatever, but on listening, I said, no, I wasn't with that other broker-dealer that I mentioned at that point in my career. But it was, in fact, the Commonwealth Equity Services that eventually evolved into Commonwealth Financial Network. So I just wanted to just make that quick retraction. And a shout-out to the Mary Lou's crowd over there, Molly T. and the Mary Lou's crew, who feeds me my coffee and my protein egg bites pretty much every Saturday. They're an awesome crew, and Molly's aunt is a dance studio owner in Malden. If you ever have a chance, if you know anyone in the Malden area, or if you want to travel to it, Paula Terenzi's dance studio, and I hear that they're going to Florida in the very near future. Molly and I were chatting, and it seemed like yesterday when I first met her, when I started this program last December. We had a nice chat, played Malden Genealogy for 200, and that's how it came to be. But Molly does a great job with her fine working crew over there at Mary Lou's on Route 139 in Pembroke. And a shout out to Duncan Gray. It's always nice seeing you in the parking lot after your work with the Talking Information Center. And I know that you'll be a future Paul Ponders guest. And I have a feeling that Miss Tiffany Williams-Needham is going to be a future Paul Ponders guest. I was chatting with Tiffany in the hallway in the transition of shows, and we have a lot of the same interest in giving back to the community. So a shout out to Tiffany, who's on the way home or maybe to an open house. But it's one of those things that it's really important in this day and age to, in fact, really just get out there and give back. I'm a member of the Medford Rotary Club, formerly the Malden Rotary Club. We merged into the Medford Rotary Club, and that motto is service above self, and it really is important with all the service organizations out there. I'm past president of the Malden Lions, very active with Lions, and also have interacted much through the years with the Kiwanis Club and the Zonta Club. And it really is important for the community to, in fact, get together. And what Dave Boyle is, in fact, doing in Pembroke with his friends with the Pembroke Initiative and getting Pembroke Cares and that initiative involved. It is important, especially with what's going on in Washington, how 535 leaders in Congress and the president, no one could really just get it together. And politics is, in fact, really just forcing a lot of issues. And it's one of those things that we really need to stick together. And there are so many great programs out there. And, here locally at the food pantry, the second Thursday of the month, what the Veterans Voice, what Greg and his team do is just absolutely wonderful. So we all have to band together. And if you need any inspiration, as I always say, with the journey of life being from the womb to the tomb, what happens in between is something called time, T-I-M-E, things I must experience. And what we're experiencing right now is really, really very, very tough. And we are going to get through this together. Just hang in there, stay positive, and we will, in fact, work out. Now, behind the glass is the illustrious Tim behind the glass. Tim, how are you today?
Doing well, Paul. Good shift today, and nice shows. Tricia, nice to see her again, filling in for her great dad, Tom.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And it's one of those things that the family is so talented. The Williams family is so talented.
Yes, they certainly are.
Absolutely. And Tim, I wanted to make note of your news report.
That was just sports. It was a quick little
sports report. Right. It was great. Great to hear your racing. Your racing.
For everyone out there, it's all just cars going around in circles. But hey, you try and do it. It's not easy.
Oh, it's not, and you do a fabulous job. You've mastered it after 25 years, right?
Yeah. Well, it all comes down to having your information in front of you and not scrambling for it.
This is so true, without a doubt. Yeah. Well, it's that 5 Ps: poor planning prevents proper preparation, right?
Yes, and if you want to catch up on all that happens with the championship races this weekend, tune into Miles on Motorsports Wednesday night, 7 p.m. right here on WATD.
Absolutely. That's a nice plug there. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I'm even plugging with the shirt today, too. I don't know if you noticed.
I'm looking away from
awesome red sweatshirt on.
I love it.
If the crew's out and about, you can't miss us. Whether if we've got the hat on or the sweatshirt, it's loud and proud.
Are those available for sale?
I'm not sure.
Wow.
I don't know. Being part of the crew, you automatically get one. But
I hear you.
I don't know. I'll check on that.
We'll ponder that, okay?
Yes, Pinky, yes.
Yes, indeed. I love it. Well, this is something that I've been planning for a long, long time, and that was the safe and successful return of our Pod Pro Entertainment Techie Toolbox segment with Techie Talonzo Amos and Ms. Shelley Wolf, global media firm, owner of Toolbox Entertainment, vice president of technology literacy for Pod Pro Entertainment, and past Paul Ponders guest, episode number 35. And look who's back, Miss Shelley Wolf. Shelley, you're on the line?
I'm here, Paul. How you doing?
I am doing well, thank you. I'm doing well. We said sayonara a month or so ago, right?
We did, yes. I had the lovely pleasure of flying halfway across the world and going over there to Japan, so it was phenomenal.
It really was, huh?
Yeah, it was.
We'll have to do a separate segment on your travels to Japan and Hong Kong. And I saw some pictures that you had, in fact, sent back. I think you were promoting Gotham Whale somewhere in Japan, right?
Yep, correct. Yeah, we went. We were in many different cities, but each city I tried to promote Gotham Whale, and we actually the last night that I was actually in Hong Kong, there was actually a lounge called the Whale Lounge, and so it was nice to be able to kind of promote everything that Gotham Whale is doing and the importance of their work. So it was really wonderful to be able to go over there and represent as well.
That is awesome. That's awesome. We during the month or the 5 weeks that you were away, we had Techie Talonzo on, and he did his best Wally Pipp impersonation.
Well, he is a celebrity in himself, so I'm grateful that he was able to fill in for me. So
that is great. And we also had Sharon Filia on, and she was on twice, and we had Dave D'Arcangelo, and we'll be hearing from Sharon in a bit on another segment. So that's really great. But Dave D'Arcangelo did a great job with his Save As ability, and really it was great. But it's great to have you back delivering some great tips. And in the time that we have left, I would love to hear your tips.
Sure. Well, today we're going to talk a little bit about the everyday magic of Google Lens. So I don't know if you've ever been at a grocery store staring at a bottle of, something that's in another language, or traveling somewhere new and wishing you could read the signs, or maybe you found even a flower or, a vase or something that you love so much and you're like, what is that called, or where can I find that? Well, today's tip is going to be around the Google Lens, a simple tool that's hiding right inside our phones that can help us translate signs, identify objects, price compare products, and so much more. It's like having a tiny detective in our pocket. And let's take a look at how we might use it. So with Google Lens, it is a free tool that uses your camera on your cell phone to identify objects and give helpful information instantly. It's very simple. So on many people's phones, you might have a little bar that has, it'll say Google if you're using Google Chrome, and across it on the side, there'll be like a little dotted square, almost looks like a little camera lens, and you would want to hit that. And by taking that, it can recognize text and signs, translation into over 100-plus languages. It can identify plants, animals, food ingredients, landmarks, products, price comparison, and so much more. So when you hit that on that app, you can use this, and the great part is that you can use this on an iPhone, an Android, a Google phone, any of the things. It will allow you to use it through the Google app itself or even your own camera app on your phone, so including your Google Photos. So in real-time translation, you would point your camera at, let's say, a menu, a street sign, medication bottle, forms, different instructions. It will automatically show English text over whatever the original image is. So, for example, when I was traveling, one of the things I was able to do, because there was many areas where we were just only saw Japanese language, so I was able to, take a menu, hit my Google Lens, hit translate, and it automatically translated everything into English for me. So I made it very readable. And then, just again, reading labels at grocery stores, it'll help you break it down. It'll give you information. Once you take that image shot, you can just say, give me more information about this image. So what I really love about this tool is that it is great. I've actually taken pictures of different things, and it'll show me where to buy it. It will show me information around it. And again, it's great because it will cross-communicate, which is really wonderful. So again, you can also use this as you can speak into Google Translate. Google Translate is another tool that exists. It is a separate app, but as you use it, you can have it read your message aloud in another language, which is also very helpful when communicating with someone who may not speak English. Again, for everyday use, you can take a picture. The lens will tell you what the species is. It's great for gardeners and hikers. I know, again, when I was on the road, one of the things I did is I was looking for Mount Fuji, right? And there's all these beautiful mountain ranges. So I actually said, let me take a shot and just see if it'll tell me where I'm at. And it took this shot of this mountain range, and it gave me all this great detail about the different mountain ranges we were at. Again, you can scan and save written notes. So a lot of times, we might have a picture that we need to scan of a letter, or we might want to take a picture of a letter. or a photo that had a handwritten note, it will also convert that to text that you can copy and paste. You could look at recipes, and you can point the lens and get and ask it about an ingredient and get different recipes instantaneously. You can track down products that you might be looking for. As I mentioned, like if you saw a lamp at your friend's house, you can snap a photo and it'll tell you pricing. It'll give you retailers that sell it. You can organize your paperwork digitally this way as well. So again, it's a great tool for travel or shopping, reading menus, landmark information. But there is also one key thing, is that we also want to go back to reminding ourselves about safety tips. Google Lens is safe generally, but we also want to be cautious about using it for private documentation such as tax forms or our IDs, passports, different things like that. So again, it's very important to save sensitive scans only on secure apps. So, even I know, for example, I had to use different QR codes for entry into countries and stuff like that. So in your photo app, you can actually do what's called an archive locked folder. So those are things you want to think about in terms of your safety when definitely scanning important documents into your phones and using those to save on your phones. You can also download translation packs so that you're not using roaming or Wi-Fi, and that people can pull your information. So again, just thinking about downloading those translation packs ahead of time. So if you're traveling without Wi-Fi, and that you can also access them during an emergency if you need to. So again, for a quick tip checklist, download Google Lens or the Google app. Use Lens for menus, signs, labels, or instructions. Scan paper notes and receipts. Use Lens or to ID plants and animals or any of your favorite items you find, and use Translate to converse abroad. So before your next shopping trip, vacation, or even a family dinner, give Google Lens a try. Snap a picture or a plant or translate a menu and capture that. You'll be surprised how much easier it is. I've even done it on a screensaver where I'm like, where is this picture at? I snap a picture and boom, it tells me and gives me all that information. So for today's tech tip, explore the world through your camera, stay curious, more tools, more confidence. And that's what we wrap up with today.
That is absolutely fabulous. And really, Shelley, I learned so much in that because I've been so hesitant to tap the Google Lens on my what I sometimes call a dumb phone, but it's really a smartphone, supposedly. But it's one of those things that I stay away from that, and I have the QR reader on that. So this is really, I guess, an upscale, upgraded QR code and more, right?
Yeah, that's a great way to look at it. Again, like I said, I've used it to be like, oh, wow, that's a really cool item that someone's carrying a purse or seeing a lamp somewhere. And I'm like, I wonder where they got something like that. One of the things I saw when I was traveling around, these people, we were at the expo and someone had these little pop-up stools that they were sitting on that they were carrying. And I was like, where are these stools coming from? And I realized they were these little things that fold down, and they were carrying them and they looked like little bags. And so I scanned one, and boom, it popped right up and showed me, boom, I could buy it right there on Amazon. So you just never know. It's a great tool, and it just really is able to open our eyes to so much more. They can help you with your plants in your home if you do gardening and you have different questions. And I know there's definitely a bunch of different plant apps that help. But if you want a quick answer and say, oh, I really love that flower or a bush, I've done that recently as well. Hey, that's a really interesting plant. What's that plant? And I, take a picture of it with my Google Lens, and boom, now I know what plant it is, and I can go to the store and buy it. And
that's what they call information at our fingertips.
That's correct.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Shelley, how do our listeners in Paul Ponder's world get to contact you?
Absolutely. They can reach out to us at info@podproentertainment.com.
That's fabulous. And I'll be posting some more of these tips on the PS&L Marketing Group blog, and listeners can, in fact, go to that for these wonderful, wonderful tips that you provide. But, Shelley, I want to thank you for calling in and for being part of Paul Ponder's, and so nice to have you back in the States.
Thank you. Well, thank you for always having me, and thanks for all those that filled in. And, I'm looking forward to being back and continuing to provide some tips for the team here.
Without a doubt. #Indeed.
#Imagine. Thanks.
Bye-bye now. Thank you.
Bye.
Well, as Arthur Boyle says, it's not time to make the donuts, it's time to pay some bills. So let's hear from our sponsors.
Have you heard about Pembroke Collision? Price and quality don't often collide under the same roof. Not so at Pembroke Collision at 192 Beneficent Street in Pembroke. Pembroke Collision will work with you and your insurance company to get you back on the road in a safe and satisfactory vehicle. Put your trust in Ben Bastianelli and his crew at Pembroke Collision. Just call 781-293-4040 or find them on Facebook. Pembroke Collision, happy to work for you. Have you tried Bryantville Pizza Kitchen? From antipasto to baked ziti, specialty gourmet burgers, over 30 different kinds of pizza, and that's steak and cheese. Come on in and they'll show you why they made a reputation as being the best steak and cheese sub in the area. There's nobody that puts it together like your friends at the Bryantville Pizza Kitchen. Chicken wings and fingers and the famous flavors complement their stir-fry dinners. If subs and wraps aren't enough for your table tonight, expand into Greek and Caesar salads, maybe even a calzone. Anyway, it's all good at the Bryantville Pizza Kitchen. And don't forget, invite them to your next catered event. They'll bring the food. Bryantville Pizza Kitchen. Call them at 781-293-9857.
Are you looking for fencing and outdoor products? Look no further than Northeastern Fence and Supply Corporation of Saugus. When owner Mike Payne's customers have been asked why they chose Northeastern Fence, many said that there were 3 deciding factors: customer respect, excellent customer service, and quality products. I say that you need to add in 70-plus years of a family-run business with truly experienced sales and installation teams. So if you are in the market for fences for your kids, dogs, and ugly neighbors, please call Mike Payne and his crew at 781-233-3324 or email mike@northeasternfence.com.
Paul Ponders continues on 95.9 WATD. Once again, Paul Solano.
We are back. Thanks for listening to Paul Ponders on WATD, presented by Northeastern Fence and Supply Corporation of Saugus, where they have fences for your kids, dogs, and ugly neighbors. The call-in number here is 781-837-4900, and you could also reach us on the Odyssey app. And if you're like my daughter Ann in California, you're listening through the Odyssey app, or Chef Felipe on vacation land. So I just want to thank, again, all of our advertisers and loyal listeners. I was in touch with Mike on the North River. He reached out to me the other day and gave me a huge shout out and just really listens intently to the shows now. So Mike on the North River, if you're listening, hello, and hope to see you soon. And I wanted to send a shout out to those nonprofits out there. If you ever want to, in fact, promote your nonprofit in the Massachusetts area, New England area, the South Shore, and the Cape and the Islands, please reach out to me at paul@paulponders.com. Now, listeners can go to paulponders.com to find subscription links to Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube, as well as finding past Paul Ponders and WATD shows. My Paul Ponders podcast, my next one, will be dropping tomorrow night at midnight with Coach John DiBiaso, who's the head football coach at Catholic Memorial High School. And this is a great episode. Coach DiBiaso was recently named the recipient of the first annual Tony the Champ DeMarco Spirit and Achievement Award from the National Italian-American Sports Hall of Fame, Massachusetts chapter. And just like Coach Al Finaro from Zavarian a couple of weeks ago when I dropped that podcast, they talked about the importance of character and leadership on and off the field. But what you'll be hearing from Coach DiBiaso tomorrow night when the podcast drops at midnight and is available at 7 a.m. on Spotify, iHeartMedia, etc., is that it's important really to be just a good person in who you are, and who you see in the glass is, in fact, that person who looks right back at you, and just don't cheat yourself. And it's really a great, great lesson from Coach John DiBiaso, who has won all those Super Bowls. He's had many players play in the NFL, and they've been successful in so many aspects of life. And really, he's just a genuine man, and I really enjoyed this episode. So, Coach Dibbs, shout out to you, and also congratulations on your recent honor I believe that the football field at Everett Veterans Stadium was in fact named in your honor, named after you, I believe last week or the week before. So congratulations on that. And hopefully one day you will in fact be the winningest high school football coach in Massachusetts. I know you're in second place, but you're a winner all the way across the board in life. So please tune into that. So at this point of the segment, at this point of the program, we have the community outreach segment sponsored by PS&All Marketing Group and the Mortgage Originators of RibWorks Credit Union. Now, calling in, we have a returning popular guest, and her name is Miss Sharon Fillier. Sharon, you're on the line?
Yes, I am.
Hello there.
Thank you.
How are you?
Hi. I'm doing great, thank you.
Awesome. Well, Sharon, I'm happy to announce that you and I had a meeting earlier in the week, and we talked about you having your own segment because you really received a lot of accolades, and our listeners were really, really interested in what you had presented during the Pod Pro Entertainment segment. And also we are in search of a sponsor, and we have a few entities in mind and all. But we'll be hearing about that. But I just wanted to make that a quick announcement, and we'll be talking about some really great stuff today. But I want you to take it away, and let's talk.
Okay, so today's topic is going to be something that affects everyone. It's the overusage of over-the-counter medications, specifically Tylenol. So most people take Tylenol or Motrin, thinking that because we purchase it, at CVS, Walgreens, that it's safe. And Tylenol especially is the number one, according to the National Institutes of Health, the number one cause of liver failure worldwide is Tylenol toxicity. It can throw one into liver and kidney failure, multi-organ failure, if taken above what are called therapeutic dosages.
Okay. So if you want to elaborate on that, please. Of
course. So let's say you have a really bad back pain. Like, oh, my back is killing me. Okay, I'll take 3 Tylenol. Okay, that didn't work. I'll take 4 Tylenol. That didn't work. I'll take 5 Tylenol. And people will take it prophylactically or when they're in the acute phase of pain, thinking that I bought this over the counter, it cannot harm me. It is very important to read the label on the side. So generally speaking, your maximum dose should not exceed about 3,600 to 4,000 milligrams per day. Generally speaking, you're going to have a 4 to 6 hour interval push, 600 milligrams or so. For those of you who are science people, that's going to be Quackway 4 hours, Q4H, or Q6H. That would be the actual RX indication on the bottle if you have it. But it's very important to adhere to these specific levels, because what can happen is that Tylenol or acetaminophen can overwhelm the liver. It can overwhelm it. Over time, even after just a week, it can cause liver kind of fatigue, right? And it can cause jaundice, which is a buildup of something called bilirubin that makes the skin yellow. You may have seen someone who has had that the whites of their eyes turn yellow, and it can cause many, just very bad things can happen. Liver toxicity from acetaminophen is also the second leading cause, according to NIH, for liver transplants. Right. So about, give or take, 56,000 people are hospitalized in the ER due to this liver toxicity. About 500 deaths per year in the United States, and half of them are unintentional. People just taking acetaminophen for pain and not looking at those dosages. So again, it's very, very important to ask your pharmacist, check in with your doctor, how much Tylenol should I take? For most people, it is better to ask the pharmacist because they are more readily available. Now, Tylenol is preferred because it is less kind of painful to the stomach. So people that take Motrin, for example, which is less toxic to the liver, but it can cause stomach bleeding, stomach pain, especially if you don't take it with food. So people think, oh, Tylenol, it doesn't hurt my stomach, I'll just keep taking it. Very, very, very bad. Along that vein, Motrin can also be toxic to the liver, albeit it takes higher levels. It takes higher levels to cause liver damage per se. So again, very, very important anytime you are experiencing pain to determine through your doctor or pharmacist or healthcare professional what is the maximum daily dosage one can take. Very important.
Absolutely. Now, I know personally with a lot of the heavy lifting that I'll sometimes do around the restaurant, I'll have that twinge in the back, or I'll have something, and I'll go to the 650 milligram of the painkiller, and I don't like to take medication, and it's one of those things that I only take one, and now after hearing this, I'm wondering if I should even take anything, and I don't know. Yes.
So one of the things a layperson can do is, let's say, you're at the restaurant, you're working, and your back is hurting. You say, okay, I'm going to take 650 milligrams of Tylenol, right? What you do is that you take a piece of paper for each day. You can even have a notebook, and just write down the time and the amount of the, like, say, the milligrams, 650 milligrams taken at 10:30 a.m. This will help you keep track because when you're in pain, it's hard to think about, okay, how much did I take? When did I take it? If you have it written down, this makes it more manageable to kind of titrate. Okay, I took 650. I can take another push of 650, maybe even a third push of 650, and still remain under that 3,600 milligram, 4,000 milligram threshold. This is the safest thing, the best thing you can do. Now, just to extrapolate a little bit, when you think about supplements in general, right? People think, oh, I heard about this video on YouTube or TikTok, and they say you can take a potassium supplement, it'll help this. You want to be careful with just taking supplements in general, right? So again, anytime you start taking something new, you just want to check in with your pharmacist to say, you know what, I'm thinking about taking this vitamin supplement. Are there any contraindications according to my medication profile that I should think about? And so let's say that you get all your medications from CVS, right? They have a listing of all the medications that you take. The pharmacist can look into that list and tell you, okay, if you take too much, I don't know, let's say calcium, this will interfere with this. This is your maximum dosage per day. Because even something like calcium can throw you into something called hypercalcemia. And that can cause issues as well. Calcemia, I'm sorry, I pronounced that incorrectly. And that can cause issues with kidney stones, right? Kidney issues. So even seemingly innocuous supplements, calcium, multivitamins, even water, even if you drink too much water, that can cause issues as well, right? You always want to check in with your pharmacist, doctor, healthcare professional, nurse practitioner. Is everything okay in this medication profile, in my pain management profile? Are there any contraindications? Should I pull back on some dosages? Should I increase some dosages just to keep your liver, kidneys, all of your organs super duper happy?
That is fabulous. Well, Sharon, I'm going to hold you over through the commercial break, and when we come back, we'll talk more about the subject, because I have a follow-up question on that, okay?
Yes, of course.
Thank you. So let's hear from our sponsors.
Have you tried Brian Phil Pizza Kitchen? From antipasto to baked ziti, specialty gourmet burgers, over 30 different kinds of pizza, and that's steak and cheese. Come on in and they'll show you why they made a reputation as being the best steak and cheese sub in the area. There's nobody that puts it together like your friends at the Bryantville Pizza Kitchen. Chicken wings and fingers and the famous flavors complement their stir-fry dinners. If subs and wraps aren't enough for your table tonight, expand into Greek and Caesar salads, maybe even a calzone. Anyway, it's all good at the Bryantville Pizza Kitchen. And don't forget, invite them to your next catered event. They'll bring the food. Bryantville Pizza Kitchen. Call them at 781-293-9857. Have you heard about Pembroke Collision? Price and quality don't often collide under the same roof. Not so at Pembroke Collision at 192 Manakesett Street in Pembroke. Pembroke Collision will work with you and your insurance company to get you back on the road in a safe and satisfactory vehicle. Put your trust in Ben Bastianelli and his crew at Pembroke Collision. Just call 781-293-4040 or find them on Facebook. Pembroke Collision, happy to work for you.
Are you looking for fencing and outdoor products? Look no further than Northeastern Fence and Supply Corporation of Saugus. When owner Mike Payne's customers have been asked why they chose Northeastern Fence, many said that there were three deciding factors: customer respect, excellent customer service, and quality products. I say that you need to add in 70-plus years of a family-run business with truly experienced sales and installation teams. So if you are in the market for fences for your kids, dogs, and ugly neighbors, please call Mike Payne and his crew at 781-233-3324 or email Mike at northeasternfence.com.
Paul Ponders continues on 95.9 WATD. Once again, Paul Solano.
We are back, and thanks for listening to Paul Ponders on WATD. The call-in number here is 781-837-4900, and we have Sharon Fillier on the line, and this is our inaugural Health and Wellness Survival Tips segment. Right, Sharon?
Mm-hmm. Yes, it is.
Absolutely, absolutely. And you're going to help our Paul Ponders listeners navigate through the sometimes difficult world of healthcare and wellness, and you'll be providing some helpful and sometimes funny tips to assist with insurance and health professional protocols, to easy lifestyle changes to support the quality of life. And this has been a fascinating subject with the Tylenol right now. But a follow-up question that I had regarding the 650 Tylenol, I made the mistake one day of getting the 650 milligram of the Tylenol pain and arthritis killer, painkiller, whatever, and also, and then I made it to the cashier. I said, "Oh no, this isn't what I want." No, so what would have happened to me if, in fact, I don't think I have arthritis. I have some sore joints and all, but what is the difference between those two meds?
It would depend on the actual medication itself. You would need to look at the active ingredient to determine if there was a contraindication. And so without seeing the bottle, seeing the dosage, I would have no idea. However, in a case like that, again, if you can access a pharmacy and just say, can you do a quick check to see if there are any contraindications of this medication if I take it with Tylenol, or you can always call the National Poison Hotline. They're available, and they have wonderful nurses that staff, and they can give you a quick kind of overview of what's happening. What is most important is to seek professional advice. When you get into the realm of supplements, okay, especially if you drink alcohol. Alcohol is a big driver of alcohol toxicity. That is, if you take alcohol along with Tylenol, alcohol along with painkillers, alcohol along with Motrin, this can exacerbate detrimental effects to the liver, driving up those enzymes, stressing the liver, right? Causing this exuding of this bilirubin into the blood, right? Causing, jaundice. So it's very, very important that when you talk to like a pharmacist or a doctor, if, say, someone drinks alcohol daily, they need to know all of this so that they can advise you. But taking alcohol with any type of medication can be a big problem, can be a very big problem. So that's just something for your listeners to also think about. When you go to the doctor, one of the advice that I give my classes is have your list of questions ready to go. Okay, I take Tylenol and I feel this. What should I do? Can I reduce my blood pressure medication? Just any concerns that you have it on your list of questions at your annual exam. If you can't wait till your annual exam, call up your doctor's office. Sometimes they can patch you through to the nurse practitioner or a nurse who can return your call and answer any questions you have. But don't do this self-diagnosing, especially if you're not trained in that. The world of pharmaceuticals is a very, very nuanced world. And once you get above taking 3 to 4 medications, they all interact with each other. Sometimes pharmacists and doctors don't even know how these interactions occur. So it's very, very important, especially in the area of pain management, to get proper guidance as to the lowest effective dose of therapeutic values that are indicated for your sex and weight, because it goes by body weight. And so a trivia, most medication dosages on the bottle are titrated for a white male at about 200 pounds. So that means if you have a woman who say weighs 105 pounds, right? She may not be able to take the full dosage. She may need to cut the pill in half. Does that make sense? And so when they calibrate these dosages on the side of the bottle, it's titrated to a certain person, kind of like a generic, person. But it can be above or below depending on body weight. So that's why if you're going into surgery, right, the amount of anesthetic that they give you must be calibrated to your body weight and also gender.
Interesting. That's why we
see what you learn here.
Absolutely. This is a Paul Ponders learning moment. I love this. This is what the segment is going to be all about.
Yeah.
Now
definitely.
you must learn a lot when you're traveling around the state, around New England with your trademark Filia fall prevention method and conducting these classes. You must learn so much from your elderly population.
Well, I do, because many of them are doctors and surgeons, and I am so grateful that they'll say, okay, this is what's happening here. Like, for example, a gentleman that I know is a cardiologist, and he said, I'm going to teach you about Frank's sign, Frank' sign. So this Frank's sign is a little kind of indentation in the earlobe, and this can indicate cardiovascular issues. Again, a nuanced sort of vestige that doctors can see that most lay people don't really know about, right? So Frank's sign is a little indentation in the lobe of the ear, which can indicate lack of arterial perfusion. So this is one of the things that I have learned by speaking with and to physicians, cardiologists, psychiatrists, also neurologists, because no one doctor knows everything. That's why they break out into specialties. So when a person goes to see their general practitioner, that is the gatekeeper to say, okay, we're going to do a full panel, blood and urine. Do I see something that's off? Okay, I see the liver enzymes are a little high. Okay, I'm going to send you to the endocrinologist to further kind of delve to see what's going on. So this is why keeping up with those annual appointments is kind of like taking your car in for a tune-up, right? Mm-hmm. Is there anything going on? Are the fluid levels a little low here? Oh, you need a little bit more brake fluid. This is a stopgap so that worse things don't happen down the line. Do you need to get the oil changed in the car? Okay, that's something that is pretty innocuous, right? Mm-hmm. However, if you don't get the oil changed, well, you can break down on I-95, and that wouldn't be so great, right? So it's about keeping a close monitor on everything that's happening, and that includes pain management medications and vitamin supplement management, all of that.
Wow, that's so important. Now, what are some of the supplements that you would recommend off the top of your head?
So again, this is person specific. Now, I mentioned calcium supplements, right? So a lot of women take calcium supplements to offset against osteopenia, osteoporosis. Now, again, there are therapeutic levels, right? If you go too high with a calcium supplement, right, this can cause calcium. I've heard of calcium deposits in the body, specifically the breast, or it can lend itself to the manifestation of kidney stones, right? Because when you have excess calcium, it has to go somewhere, right?
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of times people think, if I take more, that's better. No. You want to take the least effective dose that your body can consume and use. Too much, it has to go somewhere else, right? And that can cause different issues as well. Perhaps in another segment I can go into more detail on other supplements, but for right now, calcium is a very common supplement that people take. But, it's important, again, you take the daily dosage that is indicated therapeutically. You don't say, I'm going to take 5 times that amount, even with vitamin D. So here in New England, based on our latitude, most New Englanders, especially people of African American descent, are vitamin D deficient. We just don't get enough sun, right? So you can take therapeutic doses of vitamin D. Too much vitamin D can also cause a problem, right? So again, working with your doctor, healthcare professional, to determine what are the maximum daily doses that are required for your gender and body weight.
Wow. This is going to be a really, really great segment on Paul Ponders on ATD. I've learned so much today.
Fun.
So how do our listeners contact you, Sharon?
Okay, so they can always contact me through Paul Ponders Podcast, or visit the YouTube Philyaw Fall Prevention Method. It's right on YouTube, and you can leave me a message.
And how do you spell Philyaw?
F as in Frank, ILLYAW, Fall Prevention Method. Or you can put in Sharon Senior Fitness Workout. You will see an avatar of my face, a nice brown face with big eyes and long hair. That'll be me. It's a little cartoon. And you can click on there, and hopefully we can continue to have, subjects that people want to hear about, and possibly enlighten those who wish to have more information.
Absolutely, and this will be as much as we could do weekly, but there are some weeks when you're going to be working, doing some stuff in another career, which is a singer, right?
I am.
Do you care to elaborate on your singing career?
It does. I work with a quartet, sometimes a trio. And it's Mr. John D'Ambrosio. He's out of North Andover, wonderful pianist, and we perform all over. We perform Cole Porter all the way to Motown, Rodgers and Hammerstein. Just amazing. It's in the wide swath of genres that we hit is wonderful. The Gershwin brothers, they're kind of good. Nat King Cole, a lot of his songs. We basically stay in that 1920s to 1970s, around there. Trying to venture out a little bit more into Motown, which is a lot of fun. And people, I think, especially now with the kind of geopolitical climate, right? It's a little tough right now, and I think people like activities that pull them away from that sort of gravitas towards something lighter and can kind of divert their attention for just a little bit. And music can do that. And it's important for everyone to have an outlet so that they can decompress and give their brain a rest from the topics of the day, and to just relax and think about something pleasant. Music can do that. Even just turning on, I don't know, putting in, listening to music on Spotify or whatever you like to do. Or even like old school, people still listen to records. Do you believe that? It's making a resurgence.
I love it. And there's some music playing right now, which leads us to say that we're going to have to bid adieu. And until we meet again on the next segment, Sharon, you've been awesome, and I want to thank you again for being on. We'll catch up with you soon.
Sure will. You bet.
Thank
so
you.
Much.
Thanks so much, Sharon Filio,
Bye-bye.
of the Health and Wellness Survival Tip segment. So, with that music playing, I want you to stay tuned to WATD for the memories with Ron Dwyer, the grand poobah of oldies rock and roll. Ron, you are a true leader of the pack with great musical memories of yesteryear. So thank you, Ron. Thanks again to Tim, Arthur, Shelley, and Sharon, and our advertisers. But really, thank you, listeners in WATD world and beyond. Keep Paul pondering. Don't forget to turn your clocks back an hour. #Indeed.